In Switzerland, the law is really strong for almost everybody, but there is also kind of, let's say, elite and people that are a little bit out of it.
Meet Saša. He was born in Switzerland to parents who immigrated from Yugoslavia. 12 years ago, he and his family moved to Belgrade, Serbia. Here he runs a workshop where he makes guitar accessories. He shared why it's so difficult for people from the Balkans to assimilate in Europe even if you were born there, how European media shapes harsh myths about the Balkans, and whether it was hard for him to adapt to the war culture in Serbia. Enjoy! What do you think? What people in Switzerland and in Europe don't understand about Serbia at all?
They don't know a lot about Balkan and Serbia. They know mostly about medias what happened in the wars. It was a lot of wars and there was killing and so they think somehow that we are not really civilized in the right way, you know, that we are pretty wild, let's say, and that's the image, you know. And then we have a lot of people in Switzerland and they stretch the law. Everywhere they stretch the law, you know, like they drive too fast, they get into the social institutions, you know, like they are acting like invalids and stuff, you know, they get all the money and go back to Balkans
so
to live.
They abuse the system.
Yes, you know, and then Swiss see that, they don't like that, what I understand fully, you know, and then their reputation is just gone.
How can you tell that you are different there? So it's people, it's in people words that you understand that they perceive you as a foreigner, or it's like in something other things maybe?
For example, it's very difficult when you have a Balkan name with each. It's very difficult to get a flat. Let's say there's a free flat and there are maybe 100, 200 people want this flat. So they get 200 letters or mails and they watch the names. And let's say there are 20 or 30 from the Balkans, they're out. Just because, you know, they connect us with not serious, with criminals, with I don't know, everything bad, you know, and they don't know that I grew up there, that I have Swiss passport, and don't care about that.
It's interesting, yeah. So it's not so easy to socialize fully, to integrate fully in Swiss society. And actually, Swiss people are famous for this.
Yeah, it's not, you know, because in Switzerland there are already a lot of foreigners. The first people that came, I think, they are from Italy, and they were also like strangers, and then they slowly integrated, you know. Then there were coming people from, let's say, Portugal or also from the Balkans, and they slowly integrated. Then actually there was this wars in the Balkans that was a lot of people coming from the Balkans to Switzerland, and there were a lot of different people, you know, like also maybe criminals, I don't know, you know, and this made our image really bad, you know, very quickly in the 90s. You know, if there is a murder or something, it's often a Balkan guy, you know, and then it's just our image is so bad, you know. And then you feel it everywhere a little bit, you know, you feel it because my name is with each and stuff, and I don't look very Swiss, let's say. So then it was natural to leave Switzerland for me. And I didn't want to do this experience to my kids, you know. I wanted that they're fully integrated wherever we live, you know, and then we came to Belgrade actually. That was maybe the main decision. So we are in Profesorska Kolonia in Belgrade. And all these houses were built by some specific professors. And each professor, we can go here and see who lived here with his family. So this was Jovan Kangrga. In this house lived and worked Jovan Kangrga. On each house you have this kind of plates, you know, you have there a plate. We had also a plate, but there was a guy coming and took it away, and because it's made of bronze probably or something. So we had a plate, you see there, but it's gone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
What did you know before you moved to Belgrade about Serbia and Belgrade?
Actually, I did not know a lot, you know. I had some family and I was visiting my grandmother and cousins every year. So I was more kind of touristic. It was communism, it was Milosevic time, so Belgrade was not that attractive, I think, at that time. Because I grew up in a village in Switzerland, I never had this big city feeling, you know. I just wanted to have a big city and to feel what it means to live in a city also. My wife had this wish, so that's what made us come here. Now, since I live in Belgrade, I feel how my life was in Switzerland. It was just colder. The Western is a little bit colder, you know, like people talking with you, like when you go to shops, for example, you cannot really talk with a woman on the cashier. She's just doing her job and you do your job and everything is like that. I don't know, it's not so personal, you know. And here, when I came here, for example, then I go to the shop and they don't want to know, you know, who are you, where did you came from, what do you do here, why you are here, you know, and then you start talking, I don't have time, you know, I have to go, you know, then I felt how much I am Swiss also, you know, because I have always something to do, you know, and she, let's say a woman in the shop can talk all day, you know, and I have more time here, you know, for myself, for family, for my job, you know, I can really live my rhythm, how I want to live. And that's what I love it. You know, that's what I love about living right now in Belgrade in Serbia.
So in Switzerland, even in small places,
Yes.
they don't have this personal relationships, because in small places everybody knows each other. Usually it's like, oh, hello, I know your mother, you know my sister, and
Yes.
this kind of thing.
Growing up in a Swiss village means actually you're all day in school. My father was working all day. My mother was at home. And then sometimes after school you can play with kids, and I did play. I had also friends, of course, but it's not like here, you know. It's just everybody lives for their own, you know. Somehow you have a flat or a house and you live in that. When I grew up, let's say this was 30, 40 years ago, it was different in school. There were maybe 2 foreigners, you know. Now it's totally different, but I was the foreigner in this Swiss village, and this was, it was not problematic, but you feel that you're not the same, like the Swiss. And this is very special how it's all in green, you see?
I think it's specifically a Belgrade thing.
Really?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Have you encountered in Switzerland?
No.
I've
It would
never
not
seen
be
it in
allowed. It
Russia.
would not be allowed in Switzerland, I
You
think.
see, it's
you know?
like it's.
But this house is fully into green, you know, it's completely green. I think they don't want to renovate the house, you know, so now it looks nicer, you know, it's all covered in green.
Da li to je teško za tebe da integrisaš ovde, a posle tvog života
U Švajcarskoj?
Evropi?
Mislim da nije teško, ne. Ja se totalno super osjećam ovde. Totalno, mislim, integrisan, znaš, nisam ja sad, ono, Beograđanin, znaš, ono, sad slang i to, sve to ne, ali ja mislim da mi imamo super život ovde. Baš, ono, deci je super, meni je super, ženi je super, znači, ne mogu da se žalim, stvarno, baš je ono, sve kako treba, da. To je teško objasniti, ali jednostavno je sve u svom ritmu nekako.
Šta misliš o sebi? Ti si Srbin ili Švajcarac?
Nešto, ja sam jedno i drugo, znaš. Pošto ja sam tamo rođen, odrastao, ja imam i švajcarske papire, imam i srpske papire, ali ja bih rekao prvi deo mojeg života bio više švajcarski i više sam se osjećao možda kao Švajcarac, a sada sve više tendiram da budem Srbin i osjećam se kao Srbin i živim kao Srbin i razmišljam kao Srbin i mislim da ide u taj pravac, ali postoji jedno i drugo u meni, znaš, nisam ja pravi Srbin i nikad neću biti pošto imam puno švajcarskog u meni.
Koje djelo je švajcarsko?
Pa švajcarski je taj, na primjer, da sam vrlo precizan, na primjer, znaš. Na primjer, ako se dogovorim, onda gledam da sam na vreme negde, da stignem, onda...
Ta disciplina.
Da, ta disciplina, znaš, i to vremenska disciplina, onda... Znaš, Švajcarci vole da održavaju stvari, na primjer, znaš, ja sad ovde ako imam auto, ja ću da ga i očistim ponekad, razumeš, ono, Srbi su tu malo više haotični, da kažem, oni, ono, voze dok voze, pa kad se pokvari ide sledeći auto, znaš, ono. To je švajcarsko meni definitivno, to... Da sam odgovoran, znaš, odgovoran prema ako se nešto kaže, ako se nešto obeća, ako se nešto dogovore ljudi, da pokušavam to da ispunim, na primjer, znaš.
Da li to je teško za tebe ovdje u Srbiji sa
Da.
ovimi navikami?
Nije mi teško,
Odgovornost,
nije mi
disciplina?
teško. Ne, pošto, na primjer, ovi moji klijenti su svi kao ja, da kažem. Znači, iz te muzičke branše, znači, imamo stvarno fantastične ljude i stvarno nikad s nikim nisam problem, da kažem. Znaš, svi drže reč, znaš, svi se poštujemo. Tako da, znaš šta, ja i važim u celom tom svetu ko Švajcarac ovde, znaš, pošto, znaš, ja kad nešto obećam, ja to uradim, znaš, i ja vidim da i ljudi malo su iritirani, pošto oni znaju da ljudi svašta obećaju i neki ispune, neki ne ispune, znaš, ali ja mislim da se strašno mogu da se naslone na mene. Znaš, i znaš, ako Saša kaže bit će tako, prime nešto za 2 nedelje će da uradi, onda za 2 nedelje bude gotovo, razumeš? A ne za 4 nedelje, znaš. Tako da, mislim, ima exceptions, ono da kažem, sad se seti, ponekad, ja sam tu i Srbinu postao, znaš, ono, ali generalno mislim da ljudi mogu da imaju veliko poverenje da će to tako biti.
So how do you work?
Normally, I get mails, you know, from people they would like to buy something, or they ask me, do you have this, or can I fix this, or, you know, so I'm always in contact with different people. I told you that I did also these paddle boards, so they have electricity here, you know, and then they can wire, or I wire like this, not really like this. This is my own paddle board, but I can wire paddles to the paddle board. So what I do completely this paddle board. I start with the wood. Here is the wood. Then I have all these materials like corners, all these leathers. So what I give the people are options, you know. They can choose what they want to do. They're mostly exotic leathers like iguana, or this is, I think, you know, like snake and crocodile leathers and elephant leathers and whatever.
It's very rock and roll. How much does it cost to make one pedal board?
Something like this.
Yeah.
Let's say without power supply, it maybe goes from 500 euros up, you know. But normally you have bags, you need to transport them, you have flight cases, you have power supplies, you have cables, so it cannot go up to 2,000, 2,500 euros, depends what people want.
Da li si imao neke kulturne šokove kad došao prvi put u Srbiju?
Naravno, da.
Koji su bili oni?
Švajcarska je jako čista zemlja, na primjer. I onda ja kad vozim auto po Beogradu, i onda često vidim, na primjer, otvore prozor i bace pikavac. I to mene još do dan danas me to iritira kad to vidim, znaš, nekako to u Švajcarskoj ne vidiš, na primjer, uopšte. Znaš, i onda ja razmišljam da li treba tom čovjeku da se kaže da ne baca cigarete na ulicu. To me do dan danas malo iritira, iskreno ti kažem. Kad to vidi, to se često vidi, baš ono kad voziš auto po Beogradu, uvek neko taksista otvori prozor i pam, nešto izleti kroz prozor, znaš, ono. I to mi nekako, to ja ne mogu da razumem baš dobro, da. Srbija je jako lepa, ali ono što sam rekao, oni ne čuvaju prirodu koliko treba, na primjer. To je jako važno da to Srbija shvati, ljudi ovde, da moramo da pazimo prirodu više. Znaš, znači da ne može se baca sve i tako dalje. I to je ono što, znaš, kad ti dođeš u Švajcarsku, ti stvarno ja imam taj kulturni šok koliko je to tamo čisto, razumeš? Ono, nekako ne mogu da verujem.
Šta ljudi misle o tebe kada ti pričaš srpski? Oni misle o tebe kao Srbinu ili oni zna šta imaš neki akcenat?
Oni čuju generalno odmah da ja nisam odavde, znaš. Ja, na primjer, mislim da ja dobro pričam srpski, znaš, ali oni čuju, znaš, svašta oni čuju u mom jeziku, znaš, ono, i hrvatsko, i bosansko, i nije beogradski, znaš, ono. I čuje vratno i taj neki nemački, znaš, ja neke reči pogrešno izgovaram, znaš, ono, malo pogrešno ih akcent to, ali ja to ne znam, ja to ne primetim, ali generalno mi kažu posle 2 rečenice, ti nisi odavde, znaš, ono, kažem, ne, ja sam odrastao u Švajcarskoj i onda počne cela priča, ono, prilike, znaš, ali ja mislim da ljudima generalno simpatično, pošto vide da sam malo drugačiji.
Do you have celebrities among your clients?
When I was living in Switzerland, I had from all over the place. Maybe they're not so famous in general way, but into guitar world they're famous. And now in Serbia I have some guys from the local scene, you know, but like people know them, many bands like Sars, maybe you know Sars, don't know. Normally I have normal people, they're not famous or rich or whatever, you know.
What do you think rock music in general is gaining popularity or losing it in recent years?
I think it's coming back. That's what I feel. Also, the young generations, I feel that they love the old rock music. That's what makes me feel good. You know, they're coming 18 years old. They love Nirvana and stuff. You know, and I'm totally happy to see this coming back. It's not so big like, let's say, hip hop or something, but I think rock and alternative rock metal is coming back. That's how I feel. Slowly, but it's coming because it's the real thing, I think, you know. And
Koje su prednosti za decu ovde u Beogradu?
znaš, škola je jako blizu, Sveti Sava jako blizu, onda imaju sve te sportove što rade, znaš, igraju odbojku, onda ova mlađa ide na glumu, na primjer, i sve to jako blizu, ono, 100 do 200 metara, znači oni mogu sve peške da urade, sve idu same, onda oni jako puno izlaze, znaš, jako puno su po parkićima, znaš, druže se, ima velika ekipa, tu uvek ko neki gang se nađu, ono, 20-30, znaš, devojčica, dečaci, i oni su u parkovima, razumeš, ono, do kasno, na primjer, iako moje deca su mlada, ali opet izlaze i meni je to fascinantno videti. Znaš, lepo je imati veliko društvo, lepo je da se druže, razumeš, ja mislim da je to divno. Ja mislim da se to sve više gubi, znaš, ovako, ne samo sad u Švajcarskoj, nego generalno u svetu ili na zapadu, znaš, a ovde još ima to iz komunizma, još to druženje, ići kući, ono, znaš, naše deca često spavaju kod nekih drugarica, znaš, ono, ja mislim da je to divno, ne znam, znaš.
What is your favorite part of Belgrade?
My favorite part of Belgrade is Donji Dorčol.
Donji Dorčol?
Yeah, because it's a little bit still not cultivated too much. It's more artistic. There are many artists. There's a lot of industrial background of the houses and buildings and many cafes and places, and I love mostly. If I could choose, I would live in Donji Dorčol, if I could choose. But unfortunately, I'm not living there. Yeah. But this place is also nice, you know, it's nice, but it's not a lot going on, actually, it's quiet.
Do you like it, that it's quiet, or do you
like
more
it's
noisy
okay, it's
environment?
okay, it's okay. You know, when I'm here, I don't feel the rush and the noise of Belgrade. But I'm in the middle of the town, but it's pretty quiet, right? Znaš šta, puno sam u internetu i onda sam gledao, često uvijek ima neke tabele, na primer, koja je najuspešnija država i to, znaš, i onda, znaš, dođe ti ono na YouTube-u ili nešto, a Srbija nikad nije najuspešnija nigde, razumeš. Ali sam jednom gledao, znači, neće da veruješ, gledao sam jedna bila lista i tu bila Srbija prva. I to je bilo, znači, da stranci ocene kako se oni osjećaju kao stranci u toj državi. I oni su rekli da oni smatraju da u Srbiji ima najmanje rasizma, na primjer. I to je jedina lista što sam ja u životu vidio da je Srbija bila prva. I to mi je bilo fascinantno. Tako da mislim da su ljudi jako dobrodošli ovde, znaš, svako dobrodošao. Što u Švajcarskoj nije baš tako.
Don't you feel that it's like, it has been once a hidden gem, which only you knew, and now it's like for everybody?
I think it's a hidden treasure still, you know. So I think that people are looking for something in between the West capitalism and the East, and then they found Belgrade as a middle solution. Also for me, this was the main questions, you know, living in the West, you know, and this lifestyle in the West, and we were thinking what we shall do and where we should go, and Belgrade was just a great option.
Da li postoji mogućnost šta Srbija će biti druga Švajcarska?
Ne, to se nikad neće desiti. I dobro da neće biti. Ne, neće, pošto mentalitet je skroz drugačiji, znaš. Ti moraš da imaš ljude za to, znaš. Švajcarci, oni žele taj sistem, oni žele da je to sve pod konac, kako bi rekli se, znaš, sve je perfektno. A Srbi nisu takvi, Srbi su više haotični i zato to neće da se desi, nikad, ja mislim. A i ne treba, znaš, ne trebaju svi da budu kao Švajcarci. Dosta je jedna Švajcarska, pa ima i Srbija, pa ima, znaš, svi smo različiti, mislim da to je jako dobro, znaš, da nije sve isto i da i ljudi budu različiti, znaš, i onda imaš različite države, sisteme i onda svako može da izabere gde želi da živi, znaš, svugde ima za nekoga nešto dobro, nešto loše i ja ne bih želeo da Srbija bude Švajcarska, ne bih želeo.
Švajcarska ima dobru ekonomiju.
Tako je, tako je.
I sve male države žele da bude druge Švajcarske, kao Singapur je Švajcarska u Aziji.
A svi žele i puno i države žele i u Evropi, znaš, ako gledaš, sigurno ove baltičke zemlje žele da budu ko Švajcarske i Češka i, znaš, svi oni to žele, ali, ne znam, ja mislim da oni gube identitet onda malo u tome, znaš, ne trebaju oni oni trebaju da budu svoji, kakvi jesu, znaš, svaka država ima nešto svoje i ti trebaš da veruješ u to što jesi i da to forsiraš, znaš, znači mi nikad nećemo biti čisti ko Švajcarci, nikad, ali ćemo imati nešto drugo, imat ćemo, kako se kaže, hospitality, znači da volimo ljude, da volimo život, da volimo dobru hranu, da volimo da se družimo, znaš, i to treba onda forsirati, znaš. In general, everywhere where you have a little bit more money, the life is going to be easier and better. Also, in Switzerland, you know what people don't think about is you get a big salary in Switzerland, but the life is very, very expensive, you know? That's what people don't see, they just see the salary. They don't understand that the flat costs in the middle of Zurich, they have to pay maybe 3,000-4,000 rent. They don't see that, they don't know that maybe, you know, and then you can have a big salary, but life is so expensive that the salary goes away. In Belgrade, I don't know what's your experience, but you can have different jobs and salaries right now in Belgrade, I think. That's how I feel, you know, you can, if you want, like you do your stuff, I do my stuff, so you can do it work. It's probably more difficult when it's outside Belgrade, I think. Let's say in villages there are not opportunities, you know, to have good salaries probably, I don't know. I mean, it depends what you want, you know, it depends what you want from life. I think that Swiss people work much more than people here, you know. Here's always, I work a little bit, but I do also other stuff, you know. And there, I see my friends, you know, they work a lot, you know. They come home really late. And that's what people don't see or don't know, or I don't know. Look, for some people it's okay, for others not. So what is interesting, a lot of people don't know that guitar players use pedals, you know. Now most people see they're playing something and that sounds great, you know. Yeah. But often there is a good pedal behind it. And without the lava, it's like...
Aha. Koje delo u tebi je Srbin? Šta u tebi
Pa
je?
u Srbin u meni je da volim život, znaš. Da volim lep život.
Lep život, to znači...
Lep život znači, šta to znači? Dobar život, znači da živiš u svom ritmu, da imaš sve u životu, znaš, da imaš i posao, i da imaš i porodicu, i da imaš slobodnog vremena, i da imaš malo para za život, i da, znaš, da imaš vremena za druženje. Ja mislim da je to dobar život, mislim da Srbi vole sve to da nekako iskombiniraju da sve bude zajedno. Da im bude dobro, da ne razmišljaju o sutra toliko, znaš, nego da razmišljaju danas. Šta je danas? Šta je danas i sad ću ja to da radim.
Život u momentu.
Da, ja mislim, naravno nije to samo u Srbiji tako, ali mislim da je ovde to još moguće, znaš. Puno, ti na zapadu ne možeš da živiš samo u momentu, znaš, ti moraš da planiraš malo, znaš. Tu ima jedna svoja logika, mašinerija što tebe gura u totalno nešto drugo. A ovde mislim da ima još tih prostora da ti možeš da živiš na svoj način. Barem ja to tako doživljavam i zato se ja jako dobro osjećam, znaš, ako nekako Mislim, kažem, ovo što svi tvoji kažu, ono, osjećam se slobodno, razumeš?
Šta misliš, šta Švajcarska mogla bih da naučio od Srbije?
Pa znaš šta, u Švajcarskoj je zakon jako striktan i važi za sve. A u Srbiji to nije tako. U Srbiji ti možeš da popričaš sa policajcem kad te on zaustavi, na primjer, u autu. Znaš, i sad, meni se desilo, jednom nisam bio vezan i ja sam njemu objasnio da se ja inače vežem i da sam Švajcarac i šta već. Ali da sam ja bukvalno tu negde, ja sam negde stao, nešto sam morao da dam neku muzičku opremu i bukvalno seo i odmah iza prve krivine me čeka policajac. Znaš, ja sam njemu objasnio, vidi, ja sam imao, i na sedištu sam mi pokazao, vidi, ja sam bio sad tu, na ovoj adresi, to je 50 metra odavde. I on je razumeo moju situaciju i nije mi dao kaznu. I to se meni dopada, znaš, u Švajcarskoj to nemoguće. U Švajcarskoj ako nisi vezan, kazna, nema diskusije. Razumeš? I ja mislim da bi to moglo da se nauči, ali to je jako teško, razumeš? Pošto ti ili imaš pravnu državu ili nemaš pravnu državu, razumeš? I mislim, ja sam završio pravo, ali ja mislim da to treba uvek mora malo da bude fleksibilno, znaš? A u Švajcarskoj je jako strict. A u Srbiji može da popričaš, što mislim da nije loše.
What do you think, is it possible to be at the same time the country with the rules and have this flexibility?
There's nothing in between, you know? You have a state that works or you have a state that doesn't work. And if we talk about Switzerland, Switzerland works and Serbia is not working as a state, you know? So you cannot have a little bit of both, I think. It's not possible, in my opinion. Look, this is some black and white thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I think, let's say, you know, in Switzerland, the law is really strong for almost everybody, you know? But there is also kind of, let's say, elite and people that are a little bit out of it, you know? It's not, you cannot talk about it. It's a kind of a secret, let's say, you know? And they don't, you know, Switzerland is a state that is functional, you know, but there is also a lot of things that are in the background that people don't talk or don't, you know, it's not everything is under law.
So it's more a narrative, you know, about Switzerland. The
Look,
real life
it is a functional state for the most people, you know, and it's a good life for most people. But there's a lot of things going on that, like here, you know, you have everywhere, you have elites that are above everything, you know, and I always try to say in Switzerland they do it more elegant, you know. Here is, if you're kind of elite, you just take it, you know. You don't care if somebody knows, somebody sees, you know. In Switzerland you do it more smart, let's say, and then not everybody knows, not everybody sees, and but in that way I think it's similar everywhere a little bit. As a normal citizen you have probably more rights, you know, you can go to court, you can sue somebody, you can even sue somebody that is more powerful than you know. And here it's not really possible, I think, you know. Here is, you can sue people on the same level, you know, but you cannot sue a politician or something. You know, I have a lot of discussions with people. Mostly when I meet people, they ask me, why did you come back? That's the main question people ask me. Because they have this narrative of Switzerland, it's the dreamland, you know, everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to live there. So they cannot understand how can somebody come back. I never came back actually because I never lived here before, right? And then I tell the people, look, the best thing you can do is go there and try to live there. And see what you think. Maybe you love it, maybe you don't love it, you know, just go. Because here's the narrative also in the medias is that everything here is very bad, you know, in the media. And every child, every student wants just to leave as soon as they can, you know.
Just
this is,
like your parents lived in
exactly,
60s.
You know. And this is for decades, for generations like this. And then there is some thinking in that everything else is better, you know. What I think it's not true. I explain to people mostly that, hey, we have a good life, we have a good life. We just have to see what's around, you can have a nice life, you can have a family here, you can have a normal job, you can go for holidays, you can hang out, you can do whatever you want.
Koja je najvažnija stvar koju si pronašao u Srbiji?
Mislim da ljudi imaju jako različite fasete, karaktera. I ovdje ja sam mogao dok sam bio u Švajcarskoj da napunim tu švajcarsku stranu u sebi. I kao karakter i kao Saša u Švajcarskoj. I onda kad sam došao tu sam integrisao još jednu drugu stranu moju. Znači to što je više socijaliziran, više sam opušten, više volim život, da kažem, više sam svoj. I to sam nekako integrisao jednostavno u moj karakter posljednjih 12 godina i mislim sam to, ako kažeš šta sam pronašao sam tu drugu stranu od sebe. Ja mogu svugde malo da živim, meni je svugde okej, ali sam razmišljao, pošto sam vidio ta različita mesta, razmišljao sam šta je možda najbolje za familiju i za decu. I ja sam želeo da moja deca odrastu u Beogradu.